And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma. Sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Bill Maher is back, tearing woke arguments to pieces. And this time, Whoopi Goldberg's in the hot seat. After years of cringe takes, she walked straight into a verbal buzzsaw. Maher didn't just disagree. He dismantled her point by point, leaving her scrambling like a cartoon character dodging ambuls. What nonsense did she drop this time? And how did Maher's comeback leave the woke mob wrecked? Stick around. This ride's got no seatbelts.
We have got to get past this endless, unforgiving, zero-tolerance mindset bent on punishing and disappearing anyone caught saying the wrong thing. The right response to speech you don't like is more speech.
Whoopi tried stepping in after Sunny Hostin's meltdown with Maher, but it backfired. She came charging in like reality TV drama no one asked for, loud and messy. Maher fired back harder, flipping her revenge mission into another brutal loss for the View crew.
And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Classic Whoopi. Argument sinking? Pull out the woke playbook. Maher clearly said black Americans want jobs, growth, and safe streets. Straightforward. But Whoopi spun off about prosecutors and the working class. Completely unrelated. Blindfolded darts. No hits. Maher called it out, torched the nonsense, and left her with nothing.
Tear down statues of Lincoln and get rid of the police. Just, no. It's not that I've gotten old, it's that your ideas are stupid.
Bill Maher didn't hold back, calling out Whoopi's ideas as pure nonsense. Par for the course on The View. That show has become the political version of a train wreck. Painful to sit through, but impossible to look away from. It's always been messy, but Whoopi and Sunny somehow take the chaos to a new level with their wild commentary. Just think back to when Charlemagne the God showed up. He looked like he'd wandered into an alternate universe.
Criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time. And, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now.
Here's the backdrop. Joe Biden, the so-called champion of accountability, just pardoned his son Hunter after he was found guilty of corruption. Family values, Biden style. The move blew up instantly, because how do you scream, no one is above the law, while giving your own son a free pass? It's basically justice for everyone, unless your last name is Biden. Hunter's guilt was as obvious as a kid caught with cookie crumbs on his face. Even Charlemagne pointed out the hypocrisy. If the woke mob insists on no exceptions, then live by it. Simple. But Whoopi saw it differently.
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all of a sudden?
I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over.
And that's when Whoopi dropped another head-scratcher. She actually claimed Biden didn't lie when he said no one was above the law. Really, Whoopi? There's a mountain of evidence, video, audio, maybe even cave paintings, showing he said exactly that. Yet she still insists otherwise. Another classic cringe moment from the Queen herself.
The nation was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law.
Watching Whoopi try to defend Biden is like watching someone insist the sky isn't blue while standing under a clear sky. Her mental gymnastics could earn her a gold medal if she didn't trip over her own logic first. Even Charlemagne looked stunned as she claimed Biden might have just changed his mind because he was tired of people getting over on him. Charlemagne's silence said it all.
So I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that they're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground. They don't have to do that.
That's the problem with the woke mob. They only scream about corruption when it's someone outside their clique. When it's their own, suddenly it's excuses, whispers, or flat-out denial. Whoopi and her crew thought they could get away with spinning nonsense in front of Charlemagne. But once Maher got wind of it, he basically said, "Hold my beer," and delivered a verbal smackdown that left no survivors.
You love to speak truth to power, and we always should, but you have completely lost the ability to speak truth to bullshit.
Maher nailed it. The woke crowd parades around as truth tellers, but their double standards are on full display. Hunter Biden was guilty, no question, yet he walked free thanks to Dad's power. If it were anyone else, the mob would demand blood. But since it's one of their own, silence. That's not justice, it's favoritism. Maher's takedown wasn't just brutal. It was a wake-up call about a system rigged to protect the powerful while punishing everyone else.
Appropriate to bury the Hunter Biden.
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what they did. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course. You don't
but
follow
I'm
this.
saying you know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No, that's not true.
And let's not forget the media's role. They bent over backward to protect Biden, burying the Hunter scandal and calling it Russian disinformation. Meanwhile, dissenting voices got censored. Whoopi played her part, dismissing the whole thing on The View. Maher wasn't having it. He shredded her defense, exposing the hypocrisy for everyone watching.
Above any matters of politics or what's right or wrong, the one thing I know for sure about America is this. It's run by mean girls. Mean girls in the press and in politics and in life. And when they smell blood in the water, the lust to finish off a vulnerable person will never be denied.
Maher was dead on. The ladies of The View, led by Whoopi, aren't about debate. They're about silencing dissent. Their sneers and snark are just bullying dressed up as activism. Whoopi waves off opposing voices like they're beneath her. But Maher calls it what it is, hypocrisy. His takedowns are refreshing because they cut through the stale, one-sided narrative that show peddles every day.
Democrats run for office as if the voters don't live here, as if they don't go to the grocery store and Starbucks and the office. But they do. But a poll last year asked if America is the greatest country in the world. More blacks and Hispanic Americans agreed with that than the white progressives. It asked if racism is built into our society. White progressives agreed with that at higher levels than black and Hispanic people. It asked if government should increase border security. Same result. Hispanic Americans are less okay with illegal immigration than whitey. And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them. Black people, they're just like us.
Maher also reminded them, Trump didn't cheat or steal his win. He earned it because millions of Americans chose him. That's democracy. The left can blame Russia, racism, or Twitter trolls all they want. But at the end of the day, it's just losing fair and square. If they ever want to win again, they need to stop playing the victim and start acting like strategists.
There's a coalition of Trump voters, people who really like him. They certainly are those. And then there's people who don't necessarily like him that much, but they still think he's less crazy than stuff that strikes them as aggressively anti-common sense.
Not everyone who voted for Trump is a hardcore MAGA loyalist. A lot of people just couldn't stomach the Democrats' lectures and the woke agenda. When you're cheering for men and women's sports or cozying up to extremist causes, you alienate normal voters. People didn't vote for Trump because of his tweets. They did it because the alternative felt like being scolded by a self-righteous vegan at a barbecue. If the left wants to win, They need to stop pandering to fringe activists and start listening to everyday Americans.
Rule, stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma. Sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
And that's the punchline. Bill Maher didn't just hand Whoopi an L. He built the coffin and nailed it shut with sarcasm. Whoopi, the self-appointed queen of the woke mob, tried to attack Maher for having his own opinion. Big mistake. His response? Classic Bill. Razor sharp, unapologetic, and funny. He called out the irony of a show that claims to celebrate diverse opinions, but only tolerates their own. Maher exposed The View for what it is, an echo chamber where critical thinking goes to die. Watching him dismantle their nonsense was like watching Picasso paint, with wit and logic as his brush.